And Uncharted 4 tonight, midnight.
Oh yeah. Are you
But isn't
staying
it
up
the
for?
preload?
So you're gonna be a tired dad tomorrow?
Probably.
Are you going to call in sick?
Yeah, right after this broadcast, I'll be like, oh, sorry, I just couldn't make it in.
Towards the end of this broadcast, you have to start just coughing like, "Oh, guys, I feel like I'm coming down with something."
Ah, this illness has not yet been charted.
Right, yeah.
Let's get this thing rolling. The adult beverages are poured, the babies are asleep, and it is time for New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new dads figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have an 11-month-old.
My name is Gavin, and I have a 9-month-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
And choked on the 11th.
Almost one.
So those, oh man, it's a state of tired that just like starts to make your tongue flail about in inappropriate manners.
Whoa, okay, come on.
Hey, whoa,
Yeah.
hey. My insinuation's
Hey,
fine. Yours is
Yeah.
over the line.
Oh,
The
Yeah, you act really differently when you get tired. I tend to just want to have a nap, but to each their own.
during a game, right?
Yeah, exactly.
time to go to bed, put on a little bit of light Dark Souls to lull me to sleep, and
Yeah. I can only sleep with a game over screen in front of me. It's ever since the Battletoads days. It's how I get to sleep.
so I almost think if that was the case, I think you would wake up and see game over, and you might think that you've died. Like, oh no!
Oh, like in real life.
Yeah, you wake up and look at the screen, like, oh god, it's over.
So this is how it ends. Huh. There's no tunnel. There's no light I have to go towards. It's what? I press X to respawn. Is this? If I hit Y to respawn, do I get to kind of respawn as a cooler animal, like like a lion or something? How does this work?
You're desperately hitting the Konami code just in case, so you can jump back.
Yeah. Use the Konami code for like the ultimate reincarnation. You just come back as like the sun.
The ultimate, yeah, that's it.
That took a left turn in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, how was your week in gaming and fatherhood?
Jeff, you are welcome to go first.
Oh, I'll start. Yeah. Fatherhood. Fatherhood, I guess we'll mention that it was Mother's Day this past weekend. So the boys had crafts they did from school and daycare.
Nice. Did you rent a
Popsicle
tent?
sticks. No, we didn't have a tent full of kids. But I will say that all the crafts involved popsicle sticks and glue guns and glitter of some sort. So they gave that. Yeah, welcome guys. Just get ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they gave those gifts to their mom early in the morning, and then we sat down for breakfast. Kind of spent the day chill, kind of laid back. We went for a walk. Nature, all that jazz, easy stuff. But it was good. Family was together. We went to the mother-in-law's to celebrate Mother's Day over there. All around good fun. In terms of gaming, I did play the Overwatch beta, by the way. I'm not so sold on it.
Damn.
I think they missed my target audience. I don't know. Like they're not. It's not for me. I don't think it's. It's got an aesthetic that's almost too cartoony for me, and then it's just, if you've ever played it, it's just a cluster full of just violence. You're just on screen just shooting, and I have no idea what's going on. Maybe it takes some getting used to, but I found it very tight, very, like, all the maps were cramped. I'm used to Battlefront and Battlefield wide open crazy 64 maps, and this is basically like 6 versus 6 or something like
you
that.
Just lock a bunch of cats in a room.
So it didn't really sell it for me. I don't know. And then it's like a full-priced game, I think, on consoles too, like $60 or something, and it's I don't know. It wasn't the best experience, but yeah, it's a
Yeah,
free
no.
beta. Maybe things will change.
Yeah, man,
Let's see.
that's such like the opposite experience that I had. Although it is funny though, like
Overwatch?
as much as anything I'm going to say, yeah, Overwatch. As much praise as I'll give it, I'm having a real hard time thinking about buying it. I'll say that I wish I hadn't bought Battleborn. Wait, hadn't bought
Battleborn, right?
Battlefront. No, Battlefront.
See, that's Battlefront.
I wish I hadn't
See,
bought
I'm getting the two
Battlefront and bought
confused too.
Overwatch instead. Because like for me, like Overwatch is just joy in a game. Name like the charm, like it's about in a world of negativity and Battlefronts and in Call of Duties, like the vicious metal version of gaming, like raw and vicious and like screw you noobs, like kill you. Like this is like stepping into a Pixar movie that is even more geared towards adults as far as like winks and nudges. Like it's about fun and like beautiful aesthetics and having a great time. Like some of the minor points too is like you're getting into a match and as you're choosing your characters, it's saying like, oh, that your team doesn't have any tanks or doesn't have any healing characters. And because of that, in the game, I was actually able to choose the healing character because no one else had chosen one. And like it was amazing. Like I was running around just helping everybody out, much like the medic in Team Fortress 2, which I think this game has a lot of interesting parallels to. But
Did you make
participating going into
anybody
that,
a chair?
you get what's that?
Did you make anybody a chair?
Nobody's a chair in this one.
You get distracted.
So
He's going around helping people again. I mean, come on.
That's the thing. Like that's what I mean. Is like he seems he gravitates towards, like
It's the dad
the
role. It's the parent role. He's like, okay, guys, we need a healer. I'll be the healer. Like, I don't want to
I
play what I want to
I
play.
wish it could be something that noble. It's more because as a healing character, it's not quite revealed how awful you are because you're just assisting everybody else who's good at shooting people. And since I suck at it, I just have to like heal everybody up and assist my team. But actually, I appreciate that there's some roles that you can do where even if you're not that great, you can still contribute to it. But you get to the end of the match, so
So what you're saying is you're the kid on the hockey team who showed up with the orange wedges.
damn right. And the water and the
Canadian
Gatorade.
reference.
Let me
Boom.
fill up those water bottles for you, Coach. I
It's
got
alright, guys. I brought the Gatorade. You just keep me on the team, please.
it. And we got to the end of the match, and it just seems like the entire thing is geared towards positivity, like beyond the aesthetics, beyond the charm and the way the animations of even the kills and everything goes about. It's that joy and that charm, that Pixar happiness. And then you even get to the end of the match, and it's a voting system. You say, okay, who had the play of the who was somebody gets to play of the game just by virtue of who had an incredible kill streak or something to that note. It's chosen by the game. But there's another.
Bastion. Bastion is just totally broken. That character is broken. They always win.
Oh, is he overpowered at this point?
Bastion? Oh yeah, the guy that can turn into a turret.
Yeah, he's awesome.
You line up your shot and just everything's bottlenecks, right? So people just come in like a lineup and it just rails them. But
Nice.
you
Okay,
can fix that stuff. They can.
do
But
we
I'll
know
give it
that?
to you on the aesthetic, right? Like the aesthetic is great. It's fun. It's positive. But I found when I got in there, was like no strategy. You just go in and pump away. You're healing. You're running around healing. If you're, like the support or armor guys, you just, I don't know.
Yeah, the
Just
thing.
I
didn't
felt
seem
the
like you're
same way
ready
with Team
on that.
Fortress though. Like Team Fortress was something you had to sort of eventually figure out the strategy for. Like there was the whole, like the medic and the tank, put them together, and like that relationship wasn't straight out of the box understood. A lot of those relationships are kind of like figured out, and those strategies were figured out during uh, the user experience, and like the players just kind of getting their teeth into it. Hopefully Battleborn has the same sort of thing. Like there could be a lot of like hidden strategy and balance stuff that is yet to reveal itself. But like yeah, I do like the idea too that like they have this sort of recommendation system in regards to the balance of the team, like how many of what character versus how many of another. I think that could help with the strategy as well. I think if people start to really utilize that and be like, oh, what about and were you able to see the other teams sort of build? Because that would be a good strategy too. If you kind of see it's like, oh, they have a lot of this. They're pretty heavy with this. we can counter by having more of this. So people load up with this character and will be better off for it because they don't have enough of that class.
Yeah, not so much. I think it's like only you can see what your
Then they
team is.
should.
Yeah.
Well, that's just the thing, right? You respawn and you can change. Like, so you're not set with it any game. But I don't know. I found even with Battlefield, if I'm the medic or an armor guy or assault, I found more strategy. Maybe because the larger maps. Maybe because the Overwatch is so like it's all choke points. Everything's choke point. It's really small. So you'll have a sniper. You'll have the healer right behind the big machine guy, and you'll just do that the whole match. Is what I found in my experience. But maybe I'm playing the wrong people. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think I found it pretty varied in the number of it. And even within one game, I had been a couple games I was a healer, and the second time it just didn't matter. Like we were just getting slaughtered. The next time I was trying to be a tank guy. First time it worked out great. I just was racking them up. Next turn I couldn't seem to do it to save my life because the other team had a healer, and then we didn't. And then none of us, like, because there wasn't, teams aren't really. I don't think it was much like Gavin said as far as figuring out the strategy. I don't think a lot of people are really talking that much in it that I noticed, where they're not saying, okay, listen, somebody become a healer, please, because we're hurting here, like we're getting slaughtered. But I don't know. There's something in my subtle strategies as opposed to an absolute requirement for it, and so a certain simplicity that it would bring forth along with all of, again, the joy and the positivity and everything else. And the one thing I tried to mention again is just like around at the end of the match you vote for your teammate, like who had a great game. And I actually won one of those things, which was, wonderful. Like never expected to do it. As far as me in these games, like that was fantastic because that was the one I was a healer because I smoked. I did a phenomenal job of it, and everyone like
Great at helping. Yep.
yeah. Then I got like extra loot for it, so which just represents like skins and other costumes for your various characters. You can do these spray paint things. So yeah, like
I,
it's
I'll
bullish on
say
it. Although I'd have a hard time. Although it comes down to okay, am I ready to drop $60 on it?
yeah. I don't know.
I just don't know that I'd do it often enough to bother. And I got burnt so badly with Battlefront, although it's certainly an entirely different game. But I think it spoke to the problem I have with these type of shooters, and that it's not something I'm gonna keep going back to.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see it $40 maybe.
Yeah.
$40 price. But yeah, I don't want to piss people off, but I would say it's like the Rocket League of shooters. So it's fun to get into, fun like aesthetic. It's really kind of just everything's positive, like Trevor's saying. But I don't know. I think after a while, it just seems flat. It's just like I don't know that you'll get that much more out of it, but I could be wrong. Like that's just me.
I think it's
As a dad.
I think it's a very
Gaming.
apt comparison, but I'd also point to how much we've all played Rocket League now, and like how much staying power that has had, and how much joy that's been. Although the price point is also something that's by comparison worse, because I think Rocket League
It's free for us, but PS4.
you console folks, but even at full price, I think the thing was like $30. Like, I don't think it ever reached 60.
No. I think it also comes down to what sort of like post-release support it will get, and how much of it's going to be paid DLC and how much of it is just going to be included. That I think will help kind of lessen the blow of the price tag. They're also doing all this secondary media with it, like the animated shorts and stuff like that. So that's kind of also where some of the cost is coming from. But like how much of that is exclusive to the people who actually buy it, and how much can just be accessed online by way of YouTube, and legally, I might add. Like I think it's if they're able to provide a good entertainment value, then great. But yeah, it's hard with multiplayer games to really get that price point just right because you don't know. It's all dependent on the audience and the enthusiasm of the audience because that's what makes it a good experience. You can make a really good, interesting, well-built multiplayer experience, but if there's no audience for it, it's going to drift away. I remember playing Crisis 2 like years ago, and it had some really cool, innovative online stuff with map movement, being able to traverse and like grab onto ledges and hop up, or do like a power slide and shoot a shotgun at the same time. Basically, a lot of the really cool like forward momentum kinetic feel that the new Call of Duties have, like Crytek was doing it like a half decade ago.
Yeah.
Um, but like they just didn't have the online support in regards to community.
And it had a single player, right? Like all these other ones have single player. Overwatch is
Yeah.
going to have just
Yeah,
multiplayer
nothing.
only.
Hmm.
So even
Yeah.
with,
And
well,
no,
and
are they doing local support? Because I don't think they are, right?
I don't think so.
Don't believe so, no. I was trying to think, like, is that my baby? Or like, like what, which,
So many babies.
get those like dad reactions now. Like anytime I hear a baby crying and it could be mine, it's just like, you get that adrenaline spike. Like, is that it? Is that,
Oh God, you
I've
start
never.
sweating your heart.
is it dad time? No,
Yeah.
now speaking of the dad angle though, I could half imagine if you were really hurting for a shooter and you had a game, and Jeff, I think especially with your house as far as kids closing in on the gaming age, you
Yeah.
can imagine if you really wanted a first person shooter fix or multiplayer fighter like this one, you could imagine Overwatch being a much better fit for a family household as opposed to the new Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. The new yes. Well, the new Call of Duty looks like crap in one word, but um, yeah, it would be a good fit. And I even let them play Battlefront too because it's Star Wars, lasers. There's no real blood. Like they can run
Yeah, makes
around, and
sense.
it's all that theme, right? But with the games coming out, like two announcements this week with Call of Duty, Infinite War, and Battlefield One. Again, I don't get that naming system, but Call of Duty Infinite War looks like, I don't know, Unreal Tournament in space again, which I don't think is what people want. And it looks dated and ugly and old. And at least with Battlefield 1, it looks new, but it's World War One. So that's kind of a different experience going back to their roots almost. So,
Yeah, they
and
really
with the
made World War One look a lot more exciting
amazing,
than
especially with
like
the
they made it.
song.
They really bumped it up because realistically, World War One was just a lot of trench warfare and just literally throwing bodies at each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
And it was horrible, and like it was really really horrible. Like it was the invention of the machine gun, so it was like everybody was trying to get their heads around this thing that was just mowing down infantry. So like when you watch movies like Gallipoli, for example, like that was a really good portrayal of World War One, and just like how the Aussies were just like the British were just like, yeah, just throw more Aussies at them, and
Yeah,
eventually the
yeah, yeah.
troops will give up. Um, but
It's
then
a
yeah,
dirty
seeing
war,
this,
right?
it was a dirty, grungy war, and I'm really curious to see their take on it because like right now, to kind of segue into what I've been playing this week is I started Valiant Hearts, which
Oh
is
yeah,
that
yeah.
Ubisoft about World War One. And of course, I start playing that around the same time that this trailer comes out. And like, these are totally different wars, just in the how they're being shown. But I'm curious to see what sort of creative liberties they're going to take to keep it exciting in regards to a multiplayer aspect, and how much historical accuracy they're going to have with like the equipment, because it's not like you really had some. The guns were still pretty rudimentary. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
like with World War II style shooters, you had the Thompson, and the Thompson machine gun was like that. That and the carbine. It
Yeah.
was like the 5 shot clip, and then it pings when it pops out. Like
Yeah.
that's a beautiful gun to use. Like it's really fun in a video game. Um, so like you had some very very interesting weapons there, like the Springfield sniper rifle. Like World War II had a really neat armory, but I don't think gamers, especially even myself, are as familiar with the armory and the tool set that was used in World War One. And I'm wondering like how much of it's going to be historically accurate. You
Hmm.
saw in the clip a little bit of use of like entrenching tools as weapons because that was very common. There was like the trench gun, which is basically just a combat shotgun. There was a lot of like mustard gas being used. Like
It
that's
looked
kind of
like mustard gas
terrifying.
or something. Yeah, like oh
Oh yeah,
God.
that was totally mustard gas.
Yes.
So it's there's some pretty horrible things. So I'm really curious to see like what of it. And it would actually be in their benefit if they could provide little like I don't know like within like a codex in the menu system where you could go and check out like hey like was it like what's the story behind this weapon like what's
Yeah.
the actual rather than like oh we made up a really cool gun it's like no that's not
So
Yeah,
the I mean at
educating
least
people.
the
World
two
War One in space. This is just World War One.
I was gonna say like you could not have two crazy divergent different takes on the next war game. One being going back to a
Yeah,
retread, and the other one being spacey shoot shoot. And
yeah,
it's curious that of the two, you guys seem to be so enamored with going back to World War One, and more curious about how they would show what is historically accurate to that time in that battle, as opposed to what
yeah.
could be in the future.
Well, it's because creative limitations are interesting. Like if you have, when you're given kind of just carte blanche, you can do whatever you want with creativity because it's the future, so no one's going to hold your feet to the fire. No one's going to show point of order on stuff that's yet to be. Um, with that sort of, if unless you get it right, or unless you get it like, or you do it really, really well, um, people are gonna be like, yeah, okay, I've seen that before. Like sci-fi space shooters have been around for so long because they've been done like to death. And then again, um, and actually the one thing I was actually a little disappointed in when I saw the Call of Duty trailer is it was the teaser one was about like the Settlement Defense Force, I think was the name of the group, and there's like this bald guy
Yeah.
talking about we will crush you and stuff like that. But what I actually was kind of intrigued, I'm like, okay, wait a second. Like everyone's like, this is the bad guy. I'm like, what if it's not? What if this is the good guy? And what if the settlement? But no, no, hear me out.
Right.
What if the settlement defense force is Earth colonizing alien planets, and we're actually at
Oh, there you
war
go.
with the indigenous populations of those planets, and basically us saying we will build monuments to your destruction. It's like, what if they're going to do like interstellar, like like xeno battles? Like that idea of okay we're going to war against an alien race, how would humanity do that, and from the perspective of like the Call of Duty franchise. So when I first saw that and everyone's like oh that's the bad guy, I'm like I hope it isn't. Like I hope that this is actually the good guy. This is us threatening the bad guy and telling them how much we're going to kick them into the ground. And then when it just came out that's just humans shooting each other again, I'm like oh there,
Yeah, they
that's
missed
what
it.
I got my hopes
Right.
up.
Yeah,
So I'm like
that's a good
we are going to
take.
be like we're going to be like the vicious colonial group that's coming in, and we're going to be it's kind of like the Vietnam War, but instead of fighting the Vietnam War, it's the Vietnam War again. It's very like when I got excited because I'm like is this going to be the Starship Troopers game we've always wanted, because Starship Troopers was very much like that, like the Terran race, the humans trying to forcibly colonize areas that they weren't welcome in, and that pushback that happened, and that idea of what happens when we start to tread into territory that might not be open for grabs. But then they're just like, no, no, it's two different human
It's
groups up against
just
each
in
other. I'm like,
space.
oh,
In
it's like,
space,
yeah, it's like, well, what?
lasers.
Like, it's like, well, fighting aliens, that's a little far fetched. I'm like, you have space battles.
I think there in one part of the trailer he broke the spacesuit, like the guy's neck in space,
Yeah,
like in a
yeah,
vacuum. He twisted his neck. I'm like,
yeah,
huh, oh, look
yeah.
at
I thought
So
that.
he could have gone for the ripping the helmet off, like classic space thing,
that.
but
Yeah,
no, he just gonna he had to do the Steven Seagal version
yeah.
Yeah,
of like murdering him in space.
I don't know.
Bit of a waste of your surroundings, fella.
What do they have? This one, oh, was it Shattered Horizon? I think the name of the game was. Basically the idea was it was an online multiplayer shooter that took place in zero gravity, was no sound, because you're in
Hmm.
the vacuum of space. It was like a bunch of people in spacesuits fighting around, like the moon got broken in half because of mining,
Huh.
and it was like this. It was back when like DirectX 11 was first coming out, so it was all like it was kind of a tech demo, but it was also a game. But it had like basically zero gravity gunfights in space, and it looked beautiful. It looked really fun, and like when you take down somebody, they would just kind of drift away, like like
Yeah,
George Clooney
like you would.
style. and just
Whoa, spoilers.
off.
Yeah.
Yes. No, that
But
sounds.
He didn't mention
but
what
that was
film that
years
was in.
ago.
That could have been
Yeah,
any
that's true.
George Clooney movie.
ER.
Yeah,
It's really ER.
yeah, that was Ocean's 12
In space.
in space.
Space Diamond, the heist.
Oh God,
That's good.
the Bellagio.
Yeah, so that'll
I'm a
be.
horrible.
Yeah, I can't say I have any interest in getting either one of those. So it'll be, if anything, it'll be fun to watch those two games duke it out as far as charts and like attention, and then just what becomes of. Could this be the misstep that finally takes down the franchise of Call of Duty? Probably not. It's probably going to sell very well. Not going to be an
Those,
issue.
yeah, they'll both sell a ton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even when like the last one, that Black Ops 3, when it first debuted, everyone's like, "Oh, fighting robots."
Do it.
It's like the best-selling one to date. It's like the correlation between people's enjoyment of the trailer and the sales are so disproportionate that there's no way that we can kind of make any kind of judgment call. It's just
No.
just wait and see what happens. But I'm kind of with Trevor on this. Like, I don't really have a vested interest. I'm not really going to pick either one up immediately. I might look into Battlefield, but either way, it's unless they have a decent single player campaign, because my multiplayer online stuff is kind of set aside for the time being until I'm not too busy with life and work.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sticking to single player experiences for the moment because I can pause and leave and not leave anybody hanging. Last thing I want is log out and they're like, "Where's the medic? I'm bleeding out."
He was right here.
Yeah.
Gavin, the medic is left. Oh no, we're done. We're done for. We're in space
Yeah.
here. We need a medic.
Where's our oxygen guy? Oh, he's AFK. He's gone. It's just
Yeah, man, what a bizarre time it is as far as that. Such a crazy push for online multiplayer at the moment. So like Battleborn, Overwatch, new Call of Duty games are obviously coming out.
Doom.
Splatoon.
Like it's just like constant. It's just constant barrage of new games that are trying to get everybody online, and in some ways like it fits like the dad time frame, because as long as these matches are like like 5 minutes or less or 10 minutes, like great, get in, get a hit, have a good time, go back to bed, or deal with a diaper. But yeah, no, it almost feels like just tonally, it's not sitting well.
Mobular.
Even if what's that?
Mobular.
Mobular
Tonality.
yeah,
Tonally.
mobular tonality. But even just
the
tone
mobular
wise with these
tonality.
games. Yeah, no, just
Yeah, I don't know.
doesn't seem there's a lot of stuff that strikes that from a tone perspective, something that like really sits well with. Not that seems, never mind. I should retract that a bit and say it's a bit more personal. I would find it a bit odd to be doing fatherly-like stuff and then coming down into a Call of Duty, fighting teenagers, getting sworn at with grade school curses and murdering people, as opposed to something a bit more, friendly like Overwatch and everything else. But yeah, it's such a bizarre time with just the sheer wealth of it and the expectation about what you'd have to do to get into them and be good. But
Well, that's the thing too, is it's a competitive game. Like there's kind of two different ways of gaming. There's like, I want a game to just experience something narratively or just to challenge myself. But then there's others where it's like multiplayer is a form of competition, and your competition, the vast majority of them have no responsibilities in their life. They don't have to walk a dog. They don't have to change a diaper. They don't have to go do a job. They don't have to run their own business. They have zero. They might have to take out the garbage once a week.
There should be a handicap. You set the handicap to dad level, and it just gives you like 1,000 health and like unlimited ammo.
that like doubles
that-
for every additional kid you have.
Yeah.
3 kids. Oh, jeez, just
Wow.
Just give them the bazooka and let them have some fun.
like this man needs it. Just let him have it, please.
Dude needs a win. Just give it to him. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Is like, I think that's also what kind of had me drift away from the online multiplayer, which I used to really thoroughly love. Like, and for a very long time. I remember playing Red Faction on the PC, like the original,
Oh, that was
and
so good.
yeah,
Loved
and
Red
like
Faction.
being so thrilled about like blowing a hole in a catwalk and watching
Yeah.
somebody fall through it and being like, yeah, and stuff like that was really, really fun and cathartic. But um, I don't have the time to get as good at them as I can or as I need to be to get the most out of the experience. And I think that's the thing is like if you can't reach that learning curve, you don't get that experience, and then it's kind of lost on you.
Even if you start to, it starts to warp some of the matchmaking, which I think they need to get a little more clever at. But if you, over a long course of time, put in some amount of effort into it, like eventually you start to raise, especially with the current kind of experience models, like you start to raise rank. So okay, now you're
Mhm.
level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. And it's not that I'm level 5. Like I'm not that good. It's just like I've
Yeah.
managed to put in,
Played that much.
I finally got in like let's say 10 hours. So now you're
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
up against people of that same level that are actually supposed to be at that level, and they're just wiping the floor with you. So like there's almost like this, if implemented incorrectly, there's this almost this timeline
Yeah.
where like this period where like it just stops getting good unless like you reset your account. Like you're going to be put in and matched with people who are of a certain skill level that you achieved just by showing up often enough. Like
Yeah.
it almost needs a
There's
more nuanced
actually.
approach to it, where it's just like, look, I am not good. This is just supposed to be casual. Like I'm looking for some fun. You know what I mean? Like this guy's put in this much time, but he's still this bad. We
Hmm.
should match him with these type of people, so so that he can still have some fun, as opposed
Yeah.
to oh he's a rank 10, so let's put him into the high
Pair 'em with
league.
the other tens.
Well, and
Yeah,
plus it's a bit of a perishable skill set, Like if you've played for a bit and then you take like a month or so off and you play something else and then your button mapping's all messed up, and then you go to pick it up again, you're like, oh wait, oh yeah, you don't jump with a Y in this one. It's okay, yeah, never mind. I guess okay. And how do I sprint? Like, so you're playing almost like a first-time player, but you kept the rank from when you were playing it like once a day, and but you're not that good anymore. You've forgotten
No.
everything. And that I think that's rough too. It's like they should have like a timer where it's like your rank will go down the longer you're away from it. Like it can tell it's like, yeah, you're rusty. We're gonna put the training wheels back on. You can come back at it and go from there.
that's really bothersome with Battlefront stuff too.
Yes.
It's like if you're good enough, you get all these extra ranks, and as soon as you get this rank, you get something that allows you to kill people more efficiently.
Well,
And
yeah, and
it's
that's
like
what I don't get.
I need that, not you. Like
Exactly.
you're great
They
at
should,
killing people. I need the help. Why do you
they
get
need
an
to
easy kill?
reverse
Yeah,
the power up system, right? When you start, you have all the power ups, and then
yeah,
when you get better, you take away the power ups. Because if you get to like level 50 and you're killing everyone left, right, and center, you have a shield, you have a jet, you have a gun that's like a one-shot kill. Why do you need that? You don't need. It should be the other way. You have the
well, that's
newbie
the
with the
thing though.
one-shot
Is
kill.
they're using it as like a carrot on a stick to keep you playing. But the problem, like the other method though, if it's proportionate to the skill level and giving the person with the skill the tools they need to succeed, and the person who doesn't need those tools taking it away, you're also kind of saying it's like, all right, here's all the carrots, and we're going to take them away one at a time. The more you play, and it's like I don't want to
More
fight
carrots. We
anymore.
need more carrots, just different
Yeah,
ones, like different
yeah,
costume carrots, different
yeah. I
looks.
think that's the one thing is like the one thing I have to say about like Halo, um, is it was always fairly good about its. You could show how much of a badass you were with your armor loadout,
See,
but
there you go.
it never affect. It was just strictly cosmetic. But you
Yeah.
might see somebody who would have this really cool armor, and it's like, yeah, it doesn't affect anything. They're still just as vulnerable as you. They're still just as deadly as you, maybe more so. But that's just due to practice. It was solely when you picked up a weapon in the corner of the room, it was the same weapon. You just got to it first. There's nothing like it's not like with Battlefield and stuff where the more you play, you get a better weapon. It's like, well, that's
Better
great,
weapons, yeah.
but now they have access to something that I don't. So now they got an advantage over me plus skill. It's like, okay, that's kind of what chased me away from Call of Duty. Is I remember one time I was playing and it's like I couldn't stay inside because the guys with the shotguns kept killing me. And I couldn't run outside because there was 5 different helicopters shooting at me. I'm like, well, what do I do?
You just
So,
see you running around in circles, be like,
yeah,
I'm out. That's it.
yeah, exactly. It's like I can't stay indoors. I'm just getting just murdered. And then I'm like, I need some distance, and I try to get distance between me and them, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, and again, just to circle it around. That's again why if even not your speed or your particular game, I think it's why games like Overwatch and its hopeful success is reassuring because it's not there's no super power ups if you're really great or if you've done it a long time. It's about fun. It's about positivity and supporting one another and like upvoting everybody like, hey, great game, that type of stuff. In akin to Rocket League and Rocket League being in that same vein. So as opposed to Call of Duty, like it's success of something like Overwatch, I think would hopefully bring about more games that could be lend itself a bit more to the type of timelines and advancement that we could possibly get within these type of shooters.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah, it's probably coming in at a good time, right? Though that one confused with Battleborn.
yeah, that's
Same kind of name to them, and the look is similar, and I don't know.
yeah. I want to give that one a shake too, but it feels like that's more like League of Legends and Dota meets a first-person shooter, and those
Yeah.
two games are so beyond
Yeah.
any level of comprehension I have. Like it's a next level gamer, and I just don't got it. Like, so I don't know. I'd like to give it a shake. I tried the trial, and I was so confused as to what the heck was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It's a
it's
good
just
start.
yeah. I was just running. Things kept happening on screen, and I just kept getting dragged along, and things. Every now and then I killed something, but not that often because the other guys were much better than I was. Although we were on a team, it was yeah. I think I put down the controller and like walked out of the room. I'm like, after it was finished, like, huh, well that was a thing. Okay. It's like it's one of those old moments where it's just like, have I gotten so old and so bad at things that this is beyond me? And it's like, no, it's the kids that are wrong.
I'm still cool. I'm still with it.
What's it? Fleek? I'm still on fleek.
Oh God, that's long past now. They probably have another word. Who knows?
Yeah, dating
Go
myself
online.
again.
and
The yeah. So I mean, we heard a bit about your Mother's Day, Jeff.
Oh yes, yeah.
So in our preamble up to the starting of the show, I mentioned I don't want to say I blew it. I just don't think I did a wonderful job of my wife's first Mother's Day. Sounded like, Gavin, per Facebook post from your wife, you did a fabulous job. So I was wondering, would you like to describe what you did, and I could take notes?
I kept it simple. Like got her some nice gifts, some bath stuff, and a little bottle of champagne, and some framed photos of Willow and stuff like that. And then yeah, I made her breakfast, and we
So
had a
you
nice
blew
little
past.
afternoon.
You blew past that pretty quick. But all those are pretty nice things. Like,
Yeah.
and like framed photos that meant a lot to her, and that we'll cherish forever, and bath balls, and like
Yeah.
the photo. That's incredibly nice. That's a great angle.
Yeah, I was actually kind of sneaky about it too, because we had some picture frames kicking around that still had the placeholder like
Yes.
couples. You know,
Yes, I've
like
done
where you
that.
just have, yeah, you have like a frame and it's been like on a shelf for a couple of years because you buy a frame, you're like, oh, we should get a photo for that, and you forget.
Yeah.
And then like you get to know like the models that they have in the photo frame. You're just like, oh, it's so cool. And then,
Imaginary
like,
cousin
little-
Derek.
yeah. So we had a couple of those kicking around, and I swapped out the photo with actual family, and then yeah, I did that a day or so ahead of schedule, because I just wanted to make sure it got done as well. And I was kind of banking on the fact that we're both really busy, and by the time she got around to being in the room that they were in, the lights would probably be off. She wouldn't notice, and luckily she didn't. But that had really nothing to do other than just time of day. But yeah, I did that, and got her a framed photo as well for her to have at work to show off and whatnot. So, bringing it over. A little photo of it.
Oh, there we go. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
There we go.
oh, baby in the water.
Oh, that's
So,
cute.
Frame photo.
Yeah. And then yeah, made some omelets and whatnot, and that was good. And, yeah. Got
Nice.
her some stuff to just kind of kick back and relax, and you know, kept it pretty simple. And then we had a nice little we went out to see her mom and some other family. And then Willow got her a wonderful gift, because during the car ride, Willow decided to barf
Yeah.
everywhere.
God. So much love. She just threw up from it.
I made it myself.
Buckets of love. So basically, My wife was in the car cleaning the baby. I'm on the side of the road with a roll of shop towels that I just luckily had in the trunk and a bottle of water, rinsing out a car seat.
New dad tip.
And yeah, yes, keep in your trunk bottle of water, roll of shop towels, clean up anything. So yeah, we actually, her and I handled the disaster quite well. We both kind of just grabbed a task that needed to be done, and just handled it, and got the baby. Like she was smart enough to have a change of clothes in the diaper bag. Also, another pro tip: always
New
have a
dad
change
tip.
of clothes.
Yep.
And yeah, between having the ability, like the equipment to clean up the mess in the trunk, and the spare set of clothes to reset the baby, we were able to get back on the road and continue. Because this happened on the way to the thing. So it was like we were literally 10 minutes on the road on our way out, and then all of a sudden, kaboom.
Lovely.
And it was just basically the baby was just too full. Like baby was just full of food, and there was not enough time between feed and car.
You squished it out in the car seat. You're like, oh, it's not tight enough.
Get in
Push you in there.
Yeah. So yeah, that stop and go Toronto traffic. I think
Oh,
was
God.
little rough on the baby tummy. So poor little peanut though. But she took it like she tough little nut. Like she parked pretty hard. It was pretty horrifying. But she didn't really cry or anything. You know, like it was just like, wow, baby, that was intense. And like if I had done that as a grown man, I would probably be crying right now. So,
Curled up in a ball.
oh, easily. But no, then we did manage to get out, see family, had a wonderful afternoon, and then came on home, and we literally went to bed pretty close after her. We're just like, oh, we're done. This is a long day, long weekend, a lot of excitement, a lot of
Wow.
fresh air. So,
Sounds like a lot, eh, Trevor?
Yeah. Just nothing
What'd you
bad. I
do?
just got Bob Seger, her favorite artist, to come in and serenade her to sleep, and just had roses strewn about the entire backyard, and a helicopter to drop. Nothing big.
Nothing.
so did you make her something out of macaroni or something? Like,
Well,
what,
like-
what did you...
So
Construction paper accordion.
I wish.
Things.
I wish I was that creative this time. So what-
How much hot glue did you use?
Not enough. Not enough is the problem. So, like I got a little bit of tunnel vision because it was our anniversary, and our anniversary falls on the 4th, and this year that ended up being like, what, I think it was like 3 days difference from Mother's Day. So I had like laser focus on that to make sure I nailed that one right. And which, by the way, like apparently we're in our 9th year, and I think it ends up being there's a gift for every year apparently. And I think like this year was like linen or pottery.
What?
It's a really
Where's
weird
this
list.
chart? Where is this?
There is a chart, but I have never followed it.
Oh,
There's,
yeah,
like,
there's,
wood
the best part though
from-
is like diamond is like 60th. You
Oh,
don't get a,
perfect.
You don't get a
Done.
diamond until you're dead. Like it's perfect. It was definitely made by a man. It's like the first ones are like paper and like cardboard, like copper. Like what are you gonna do with copper? Here's some wiring, darling.
Oh.
So the
Hang that picture with the copper wire.
yeah, we did pretty well for the anniversary. That was a really wonderful night. And like gifts, but I'd focused so much on that. We had like this great dinner, and I'd gotten surprised her with flowers in the morning, tulips, which are her favorite. And like
And
some
then all
surprise
said and done, you're like, oh yeah, you're a mom now.
yeah, I was like, damn it, like I've used up.
One of those is for your Mother's Day. Just with the flowers.
Because all this fails like as a real like from an honest point as far as like I got you these flowers because you mean so much to me, like I want you to understand that, but like if you've done it already, it's like okay, that's gone, and cards are gone, and then daycare with my son put together this Mother's Day card with his handprints,
Right.
so there's baby craft gone. So I can't, like that would have been like an easy out, just like grab his hand and slap it on some paper, like mommy's first.
Hey.
And then further, we celebrated up at my parents' place, which is up, way up north. They live at a cottage, so I had like I'm gonna sneak out for a coffee and try to put something together. Like I had nothing. I was surrounded, so the whole time I'm just like my mind is sitting there furiously thinking like, what can I do? So I think more than anything, I was honest up with her around like I kind of fired all the bullets for the anniversary and
Yeah.
don't have much, but let's go out and spend the day together at Kensington. We'll grab a meal. Is there anything else you want to do? And just ultimately had a very pleasant like day together.
That's
Sure.
good.
That it
Not so
ended up
bad.
very
I
nice.
can relate. I can relate to your problem because actually, my wife's birthday was not too long ago, and I too had kind of like spent a lot of my ideas. So when it came to like trying to think of things for Mother's Day, the proximity of like those two events it left me tough. But I had enough buffer between the two to kind of, and also resources of not being in the backwoods, um, to kind of cobble together something that ended up working. But yeah, there is that sort of that like, oh, I did all those things I really want to do for you, to show you how much I care and how special you are. But like, it's like your brain needs that time to reset and reaccumulate those like, oh, I remember you mentioning you needed a new one of those, or I remember you mentioning you like that thing, but not enough time has transpired between those two events that you're like you haven't built up those ideas yet. But like because yours were like literally 36, 72 hours apart, something like that. So it was like, yeah, that was
Yeah,
kind of tough.
it's a little. And it's going to
But
happen now
we'll
every
know for
year
next
though, so I'm
year.
going to have to. Yeah, next
Yeah.
year, like when I'm planning the anniversary, and this is the first time that I'd ever come across this, but next time when I'm planning the anniversary, it's like, all right, anniversary Mother's Day. What is a host of great things I can do? Split it in half, and then separate it between the
Yeah.
2 days. Except I'm just gonna make sure
Yeah.
for the anniversary, it's not a card from my son saying you're the best mom ever.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's a few days
Sorry.
early. Let's.
Tomorrow.
Isn't that's like year like 13 or something, isn't it?
There's
Card
literally a
card.
paper one, and that's got to be the funniest. Like,
Yeah.
imagine it's either wallpaper or a card. Like, happy anniversary. It is. It
Hey.
is a. It is a bizarre list. I mean, there's like.
Well, if you do it wrong enough, the paper will just be divorce papers.
God
Right.
damn it, Gavin.
I'm out.
Sorry, we're gonna bring up this anniversary. Now I'm curious. I want to read some of this. Sorry.
Done.
Gift list. Here we go.
Sure.
Ooh, this is from Hallmark, so you know that it's good.
Oh no. Buy a card. Buy another card.
Another
Every
Okay,
year.
okay, get
Paper.
this. So this is from Hallmark. So they've given the traditional, then they've given a modern list beside it.
Oh,
I'll say
so
their
there's
modern,
two.
their modern ones are
One's a
garbage.
goat. One's a goat, and today it's like a
A goat
iPod.
would at least be cute, especially if you get like a baby goat. It'd be like, aw.
yeah.
Okay, so because let's say I'll say some of theirs are just some of their new ones are garbage, but like for most prominently, the first year traditionally is a paper anniversary. Hey, we made it. Here's some paper. But the new modern one is clocks.
What?
Yeah, congratulations on surviving a year. Here's a countdown to the second one. Bam, clock. But we have, okay, these are listed in order: paper, cotton, leather, fruit slash flowers, wood, candy, or iron. Those two are close together.
Why
Wool or
not?
candy or iron. Not both.
Candy coated iron.
And a trip to the dentist. Oh, God. The modern version of that, the modern version in the 7th year is a desk set.
What?
Yeah.
How? What's the next list sponsored by IKEA? They've got the Hallmark list and the IKEA list. Like,
I'm
a
trying to think,
desk set?
does Hallmark sell desk sets?
I don't
Probably.
know. Maybe to put your cards on.
And get this, like your 4th year is an appliance in the modern version. 4th year appliance, and then you walk your way down to a desk set. Like, here's your business card holder, here's your pencil holder. I love
What's
you
year
dearly.
60 on that, right? Year 60 was
Oh,
like
yeah,
diamonds
yeah.
or something? What's the modern version of that?
It's diamond for both.
Oh.
Get this. They've updated it so that your 30th anniversary is also a diamond in the modern one. Nice try.
I'm gonna
Oh,
wait
hold
for
on,
the
hold on, hold
revision.
on. On the
Revision
10th anniversary, 10th anniversary of the modern version, guess what it is?
Diamond?
Diamond jewelry.
Oh my.
Okay, who
So-
wrote this?
Peppered a bunch of diamonds into it. They've literally just peppered like diamonds and appliances into the old list.
Yeah,
Why not?
and desk sets.
Desk sets. That's so
Leather.
random.
There was like furs at one point I saw. I'm like, that's not textile furs.
Is that modern? Because that doesn't sound
That's modern,
modern.
yeah.
Here's a pelt. Here's a
Oh, hold on.
beaver
On
pelt.
the 14th year in the classic, it's animals with an asterisk.
Oh,
But here's the historically, the traditional 14th anniversary gift was ivory, but endangered elephant populations make that an unethical choice. So give them the baby, the baby dog they've always wanted. Animals.
wow.
Yeah, this
You
is
should this list and report back.
yeah. So
Good
this will
luck.
be my year. Yeah, this will be my yearly. But anyways, for ninth, I was supposed to go with willow or pottery. Willow or pottery.
Willow. Like,
Yeah,
okay.
Like
Oh,
I guess
no.
like a wreath made out of like willow tree.
You should just give her the movie.
I guess.
I can give her. Let's give a picture of Gavin's baby. It'd be perfect.
There you go. That's even better. He's got a frame picture.
Modern version's leather, so
Whoa.
wallet or purse, I guess. Next year I'm screwed. It's either tin or aluminum or diamond. I think I'm gonna go with the old version. This can
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Coke.
Yeah. I got your tin can full of diamonds.
Smooth
Sorry,
bastard.
sorry about Mother's Day.
Yeah, every year.
Let's never speak of this list. Let's just.
Yeah.
It's gone.
The
No way.
Geez, I guess just as a random segue, I'll mention that I've fallen a bunch of ranks in Street Fighter, where notably I was 300 and 900,000th. Now I'm nothing because I've lost all my points, so I'm not ranked anymore.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, it was a catastrophe. So every time you lose, so every time you win, you gain points. Like two people go up, and you either take the points or you lose the points. And I just lost a bunch, and I lost all my points. But it's yeah, still, man, I don't know what to say. I'm still enjoying it, and I'm practicing like the combos and everything. There's a certain thrill to it as far as learning it. Although I tend to, it seems that I'll learn a new skill and then forget the previous two skills, so I'll go into a match.
I think the
Just
one comes
That's the
in,
dad memory.
just pushes the other one out.
Oh yeah, it's not. This is going to be a slow learning process.
You have room in your skull for like 3 combos.
I mean, I wish, man, 3 combos and I'd be set. There was one combo, and I was like, okay, in this match, I've already lost. I'm going to lose this one, so I'm going to try to land the combo once. Did not land the combo once. Not a single time. This guy had my number. It was, yeah, bad. But enjoying it. I don't know what to say about it. It's bizarre. It's just it's interesting training and just doing a couple fights. It's quick in and out, so still kind of great from a dad perspective. The quest continues.
Keep it going. You gotta put that under the video. You gotta be ranked 300,000, and then the next video unranked.
So I've heard that they've sold 1.9 million, and if I was
Street
in the
Fighters?
300, yeah. So if I was in the 300,000th, if I continue,
Well,
if I get to 200,000, then all of a sudden, like those numbers are starting to look, that percentile start to look pretty good.
whatever makes it feel better. Were you gaming on Mother's Day? You were, weren't you? Like, I gotta do it.
I wish, baby, I gotta train. What is my life's meaning if it's not something in Street Fighter? Look, this baby's great, but is he gonna respect a man that's not above 200,000 in Street Fighter? I don't think so.
It's like, I'm already in the doghouse. How much more harm can I do?
It's not like it get worse. So geez, we should have discussed beforehand, but I was trying to think, do we have any dad challenges for this week?
A dad challenge?
Yeah, nothing comes
Mother's
to
Day. Mother's Day took it out of me. I'm done with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Achievement unlocked. Nap time enabled.
Since they play I'd like to still get. I'd like to see how the total array of dads feel about Overwatch, but Gavin, I think only the free beta stops tonight. I think.
So we extended to the 10th. Is today the 9th?
9.
I can't remember.
So I guess it's one more day.
I don't know. Yeah.
So we'll just let
Or
that
just
one
watch a
slide.
video of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks okay.
I would say, man, if you haven't, have you guys, have both of you watched the prequel videos. There's two out now. One with Tracer, the British girl in yellow, and then there's one with the monkey,
No.
Wilson.
Yeah, no, I haven't had a chance to check them out yet.
Do
I've seen bits of them, but not the whole thing.
do that as knowing what I know about you two. I would challenge you both into watch them. Watch the two episodes. So the Overwatch movies. Just appreciate the fidelity. Like it's Pixar level stuff. Like it's unbelievable. And then watch that and come back and tell me you're not a little bit intrigued about how this game and game world would unfold.
Oh, I am already intrigued by it. It's just a matter of like I know that type of game, like a multiplayer only game, it's just not conducive to my lifestyle right now. But like and actually that's the thing too is my wife was super excited to play it. Like she was like, "Oh, I want to play it," like because we like playing Blizzard games together. We played Diablo through like twice, but there's no local support.
Right.
So it's like it was something that her and I, when we first saw it coming out and seeing it, it was like, oh, this universe looks really cool. This style's really fun. This looks really interesting. And like she was intrigued on playing it. I wanted to play it too. And we're like, okay, this is something we can play together. And a lot of the arrows are pointing to no. So it's kind of that's one of the things that kind of took some of the wind into my sails to really get into it because it's like I don't want to get into it and then enjoy it without her, and then have her be like, but I want to enjoy that with you too. Like it kind of would feel weird. It would kind of be kind of a jerk move. So yeah, I think that's all, the other factor too is that it's like I wish that they had something that was a little bit more inclusive to people who didn't have just like an online account and stuff like that. And I was like, I just want to play with somebody in the room with me, but it's like no, it's multiplayer only, it's arena style only, it's combat only. There's no other sort of components to it, which I get, like I totally get from a game design perspective, but like, yeah, I guess that was one of the things where it's like I'm sold on it, but the style of game it is, you know, that sort of Team Fortress style arena combat competition, it's just not really conducive to my gaming style at the moment. By the time it is, it will probably be like there'll be a new one, or there'll be a new thing. We'll be playing like Call of Duty Rocket League in space or something.
Probably.
Doing a quick Google search for split screen. It seems like no.
Yeah.
There's no way. Not with that. Well, not on consoles at least with the frame rate.
Yeah.
Like it looks clean and it plays clean, but
Yeah.
there's no way you can add a second in there,
That's a no.
No. Yeah.
which is too bad.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
2 or
that
4
challenge
would be
denied.
great. That's over.
No.
Beautiful. Well, gents, I think that with Gavin's stretch, I think that signals the end of another podcast. Thanks again everyone for listening. We do this show weekly, trying to release around Thursday. You can find us on the iTunes podcast store as well as the Google Play store. If you have any thoughts, suggestions, or questions you'd like us to discuss on the show, please reach out to us at our website at newdadgaming.com. Once again, as per every week, my name is Trevor, and I have an 11-month-old.
My name's Gavin. I have a 9-month-old.
And I'm Jeff. I had a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
You'd think after multiple episodes I would have had that closing down, but I should probably really stumbled through that one. I should likely write it down.
I'm still waiting for Jeff to sneak in a third kid.
Surprise!
Never.
Combo breaker.
I'm Jeff. I had a vasectomy. I have a 5-year-old.
Even better is like, my name is Jeff. I have a 5-year-old. But Jeff, I thought that you'd 5-year-old.
Oh, God. Yeah. Yes.
Of a
I'm waiting for
5-year-old
one of
and
you
a
to sneak in.
motorcycle. Yeah.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's just like again, Jeff loses a 3-year-old and Gavin somehow picks up a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
It's just,
I have a 9-month-old and a 3-year-old. What?
Good luck, Kevin.
man, it looks a lot like Jeff. Bizarre.
Why is he in the picture frame now? It's weird.
Yeah.
Photoshopped in. Wonderful,
Pull some
gents.
Marty McFly trickery and just Back to the Future your kid into my life.
Something doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
All right,
Great
gents.
Scott. All right.
Thanks so much. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
See ya.